Okay, so I said I was gonna do GP Vegas week, and then I screwed up, and I clearly failed that, and I'm very sorry. So I thought I was going to just do a little bit of a summary, just basically my play-by-play of what happened at GP Vegas when I went last week. I know some people are like, oh, okay, enough with the Vegas content, like, geez, get over it. It's just like the best thing that's ever happened in your entire life. It's fine, whatever. After this sort of play-by-play, this will be sort of the last that I really talk about GP Vegas for the next little bit. And I'm sorry, it'll be back to your regular scheduled shit posting soon. Okay, cool. So, I wrote some notes in this bad boy, basically just outlining everything that I sort of did. That being said, if I forget something, everything was happening so much, so unfortunately, I'm probably gonna forget some stuff, and I'm sorry if I forget someone, then I'm extra sorry. If I mess up the sequencing on when I met certain people, I'm sorry. But I'm doing my best. A lot happened, and wow, so many things. So let's get started. So I flew in on Wednesday, before the convention actually started, sort of like a precursor. At GP Toronto, I met Wedge, and he introduced, well, I knew Wedge already through like Twitter and other various social medias, and he introduced me to Dennis, who is the main honcho for the marketing side of Channel Fireball. And you know, we played some Commander, we hung out for a bit, and he pulled me aside and was basically just like, hey, you going to Vegas? And I was like, no, I'm poor. I can't afford Las Vegas. And he was like, what if Channel Fireball helps you out a little bit on that? And I was like, yes, please. So I am eternally thankful for specifically Dennis for being like my knight in shining armor. So before I even got there, Dennis has already been my hero, and you're the sweetest guy ever, and thank you so much. I flew in. Thankfully, I was on the same flight from Toronto to Las Vegas with my dear friend, Ranch. Ranch and I had also met at GP Vegas. Ranch is from Ontario as well. He's not from Toronto, because he's a fool, but he is from Ontario. So he took a little bit of the trip down to Toronto. We met. He was a sweetheart. We had chatted a little bit, and then I was basically just like, hey, I'm a nervous flyer. I've only been on an airplane like 4 times. Can we sit together? And we did, and we clicked really, really hard, really quickly. He's like one of the nicest people in the world. He's super chill to talk to. He and I have like the same sort of sense of humor. So it was absolutely amazing just getting to sort of know Ranch, and legitimately the flight was like a 5.5 hour flight, and it felt like it was like 15 minutes because it was just, we were just shooting the shit constantly, and it was the best. Meet up with MTG McQuacks, who was coming from Alaska, which should be part of Canada. Get wrecked. So it was my first time meeting McQuacks at all. Like, I hadn't talked to him online or anything like that. And he, again, like, everybody that I met at Vegas was a sweetheart, but he was particularly, like, he's the type of guy who just sort of, like, sits there and is like, but then you know that he secretly really cares about you. He kept roasting me because I kept making fun of white people the entire weekend. And he was like, you know you're a white person too, right? I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And so we checked in at their hotel. I checked in at mine. We decided to check out the convention center a little bit. We were really, really excited because the venue was super big and super cool, and we're just like, oh, it's happening tomorrow. And then the next day, so we went out, we walked along the strip. I think I may have gotten a little bit of heat stroke because I'm a dummy, and look at me, I'm so fucking pale. It was not a good time. It was a great time. The fact that I can't handle being out in the sun for more than like 15 minutes, that's just not a good time. We got some burgers, we got some milkshakes, and then we went to our respective hotel rooms. I think the guys went out and gambled for a bit, but I was out at a solid 8 o'clock at night because I was so tired. But yeah, for the official like day 0, it was really, really cool, and it was really nice to sort of start to cement a friendship. My SD card ran out, so that's cool. So yeah, as I was saying, it was really, really nice to sort of start cementing this friendship that was going to be developing over the whole weekend. And I was frankly really, really nervous about Vegas, because I was pretty much planning to just follow Wedge around the entire weekend, which was sort of what he and I had discussed to happen. But, you know, unfortunately, for those of you who don't know, Wedge hurt his back really, really badly and ended up in the hospital the entire GP, unfortunately. So, you know, couldn't hang out with him. Not his fault, but I couldn't. So I woke up the next morning and I got myself ready, got really excited because I was like, oh my god, I'm in my own hotel room, I'm gonna go to Las Vegas, it's gonna be such a good time, I'm so excited. You know that one scene in Spider-Man Homecoming when he's like vlogging all of Civil War? That's how I feel right now. And I am here working for Channel Fireball. I'm gonna be vlogging basically the entire experience of GP Vegas, and oh my god, I'm shook. You know, like the fucking loser I am. And, you know, I'm like walking in the convention center, I'm in my little skirt, I'm just like, this is gonna be the best, this is gonna be the best. I walked in, walked around for a little bit, and I would say within like the first 5 minutes, I got a, hey, are you sickly? So yeah, I was running around, filming some stuff, saying hi to anybody who said hi to me. I was like signing cards, which was really weird. Like I understood wanting like a basic land, like a swamp. Yeah, I'll sign your swamps for you, no problem. One amazing person, I'm really sorry I forget your name, I'm a horrible human, but he wanted me to sign a heretical healer, which I was like, okay, like, thank you, because he told me that he was making a heretical healer deck based off of my deck tech, which was like the sweetest thing ever. But he also wanted me to sign a Liliana of the Veil. And I mean, I did it. And I was like, you hate money, right? Like, are we sure? Like, oh my god. Like, that's insane. Like, thank you. I'm really happy, but like, oh my god. I was, as the kids say, shook. Yeah, so I was running around. Since it was like Thursday morning, it was like a little bit quiet, so I wanted to get my signing done at least. I got in line for Therese Nielsen's booth. I met her! So we were in line, I got her to sign some things, and while I was in line, like, her wife, like, smiled at me and, like, sort of, like, gave me this look, like, it was just like a, huh, I recognize you, but I don't know why I recognize you, and I was like, the entire time in the line, and so I get up in line, and Therese looks up, and she's like, it's you, it's my internet friend, and I'm like, I'm anything that you want me to be. It was the most surreal thing that has ever happened to me in my entire life. Like, and then of course her wife like comes over and they're both like kind of gushing, and I'm just like, oh my god, clean up on aisle me. It was like the coolest thing ever, and she's so sweet, and she called me her friend. I'm still not over this. Like, so I got her to sign my cards, obviously. And we like chatted for a little bit, and she tried to take a selfie, but like her Instax thing wasn't working. and I never figured out how to fix it for her, so I really hope she figures it out soon. But like, what? Nani? It was so surreal. She's the nicest person ever, by the way. Like, don't even question if she's a sweetheart, because she is. She's the best. I will fight anybody who does not like her to Nielsen Defense Squad. Going from meeting one really sweet, amazing magic content creator to another, as I was leaving, I bumped into MTG Goddess, and she is so sweet. She was with her partner, and they were walking around, going to get some signings, get some food, and, you know, Tracy's just awesome. Like, she's so sweet. She was like, oh my god, we have to get a selfie together, and, you know, how could I not? She was so cool. So I was really, really excited with the fact that I got to meet her in person, because, like, what? So after a little bit of that, I went and grabbed some food, and Ranch and McQuacks had come from their hotel room. They had probably stayed up a little bit, slept in, understandable, respect, but, you know, met up with them, and then I got to meet some more cool friends that I hung out with for the rest of the weekend. So I met Nateson, who, he's like an Overwatch player online, and he was like really, really into MTG, and I know he's going to start making a lot more MTG content in the future. But he was super, super sweet. We kept bullying him the entire weekend because he was 20 years old in Las Vegas, which is the worst thing to be. But he was really cool. Like, him and I sort of shot the shit about, like, we're similar in age. I'm 2 years his senior, but, or I guess, yeah, I'm 2 years his senior. But he and I sort of just talked shop the whole time, sort of got, like, our different opinions on YouTube, and it was really cool because, like, he and I both really like to geek out about the YouTube side of making videos. Like, I grew up on YouTube, and I feel like he did as well, so he and I had, like, very similar, like, thought processes on everything, plus, you know, we're like the millennials. So he was a really cool dude, and I'm glad that we met. Speaking of other really cool people that I hung out with, we also hung out with Open Boosters, which was absolutely amazing. This guy is, like, magic royalty. He just, like the finance side of Magic, he just understands it so well, and he understands, like, the vintage stuff, and it's just stuff that, as a newer player, it's not really cards that I've seen or, like, knowledge bases that I really knew, and he was more than happy to just sort of explain anything that I didn't really get the entire weekend. He was such a sweet guy, like, unbelievably kind, like, just so, like, warm and welcoming. He was just so so nice, so funny. The, like, hello and welcome to Open Boosters has become just, like, my go-to greeting now constantly. Such a loving guy, biggest heart in the world. So glad that we met, so glad that we got to hang out as much as we did. I'm floored. And so he was in the Vintage Magic booth, and so was Rudy. And I fangirled real damn hard. Basically what happened is Ranch called Rudy over, and he's like, hey, say hi to this one. And I'm just like,
if you even cared, you'd actually be here. Oh my god.
Rudy. He shook my hand, and he said that he watches my videos, which is the weirdest thing that has ever happened to me in my entire life. When am I gonna wake up from this weird dream? But yeah, he gave me some constructive criticism. He told me that I'm cooler in person because I'm clearly just sort of trying to hide things in my videos because I'm scared, and I was like, yo, why you gotta call me out so hard, buddy? So I'm trying that. I'm trying to be less of a little bitch. And he told me that if I'm ever nervous about something, or if I screw up, just to throw something. So this one's for you, Rudy. Kobe. So it was really cool. We ran around and did some filming. I might be popping up on either the Vintage Magic or the Alpha Investments channel eventually, because I cracked some packs for them, which is like, what? Alpha Investments was the first Magic channel that I ever watched, so it was less like, aggressively fangirling, oh my god, and then like, the next day when I saw him, I called him a loser with no friends. So like, character development. You can follow your dreams. You can meet your idols. So yeah, so we ran around for the rest of the day, playing some EDH, looking at cards, looking at the vendors, all of that good stuff, just hanging out, just being friends. You know, like friend pals? Like, it was great. I played with some of you guys, I played with friends, it was a good time. I also was filming a panel and I got to meet the ever fantastic, ever lovely Tappy Toe Claus, who I clicked with so aggressively fast. Like, this girl and I were just like immediately. Like, it's kind of a bad thing, because Sydney and I are now, I've been adopted by the Magic cosplayers, which is cool. I'll take it. I'll be your little dorky friend. As well as meeting Biggs and Armstrong, who are also part of the Mana Source team. Both amazing guys with like the biggest hearts in the world. With the whole Wedge situation going on, like they kept visiting him in the hospital, and they were just worrying about him. Armstrong gave me like a life total counter. Biggs was just constantly like talking about like his new wife, which like I was just dying the whole time because it was so goddamn cute. And just, they were both super sweet guys, super funny, like super chill, but just like the type of guys who are just like, yeah, well, we're down for anything, like let's go, which I loved it. They were both amazing dudes. And then so that night, the entire crew, so all of the Vintage Magic guys, Open Boosters, Ranch, Biggs, Armstrong, Nateson, McQuacks, all of us went out for dinner, and it was a really nice time. I got the salmon that had oysters in it, and like it was on like this like pasta, and oh my god, it was so good. And I had like a glass of wine, and everybody roasted it for me. Everybody roasted me for it, because they're like, look at this fancy bitch. And I was like, I'm a classy broad.
All right, the Quacks, the professional golfer's gonna so it's done.
Hit the card, $20.
And then sort of split up for the night, went to bed. Alright, so this video is going to be aggressively long, so I'm going to cut this one here. And then I'm going to talk about Friday, Saturday, Sunday, hopefully in another video, hopefully not 3 parts, but I am going to be posting this entire story this week. And then by the end of this week, I won't talk about Vegas no more, okay? I promise. Shh. I'm also going to continue to film it now, because your boy doesn't want to have to put makeup on unnecessarily on days that I'm not working. Takes a lot of time to look this shitty. Alright, cool. See you guys soon.